listening to the Pagan-Centered Podcast, bringing unique and intelligent perspective to the masses using contemporary technology, allowing for free discussion of one's personal beliefs and enlightenment of those not familiar with a particular religion. We bring to the forefront many issues that are ignored or shunned upon by mainstream religion. We discuss topics on a religious and non-religious level as they relate to our panel representing varied belief systems. Our brute honesty and candid opinion has made us one of the longest-running and most popular pagan podcasts. Feel welcome to call in live or submit listener feedback via our website, pagancenteredpodcast.com.
We had written Callie back way back. And in response to what we had emailed her, she said, "Thank you for the quick response last time. I was wondering if you had an idea for books that I've been calling myself pagan for many years. I'm aware that it's an umbrella term, but I don't know what else to call myself. I have had a huge interest in all mythology and was wondering if you guys could suggest any books, especially on Greek and Egyptian mythology. Also, any books on Cherokee history, as I just found out I'm descendant from Cherokees in North or South Carolina. Can't remember exactly where, but the name starts with pigeon. Thought you guys thought I was gonna say Cherokee princess, huh? Any help you can give me would be awesome, and keep in mind that I'm in Canada, and sometimes it's harder to get certain books here." As far as it goes with Cherokee, our friend Raccoon always says look up the author. I think his name is Joseph Mooney. I know the last name's Mooney. Mooney. That he's done quite a bit. I think that's
right. Yeah, I think that's done. I think you're right there. There's a book of Cherokee folklore that has a lot to do with supernatural mythos. And it's supposed to be as recorded by and I want to say that the two traditional storytellers that they recorded's names were Otter and Swimmer, but I'd have to look that up. If I can find it here in just a bit or something, I'll put it up on the thing. But
as far as books, Dave, what's our our Amazon account?
I'm bleedingprofusely.com/books.
There you go. Lots and lots of books.
Yeah, we definitely got quite a few things on Egyptian stuff. Do we have anything on Greek stuff?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, who might know Greek stuff? Our friend Nick in California.
Nick in California.
Yeah.
Kara.
Who?
Kara,
yeah. Yeah, you can get bits and pieces off of PNC Minnesota from that, but I know there's got to be something out there. Well, they're working on it.
Yeah, we'll check up with Nick and see if he can put any suggestions on our account.
Greek's pretty easy to research. It's like the basis of all the Western civilization.
Well, there's a lot on it.
Yeah.
It's kind of everywhere.
Sort of dig in and all that stuff. Just remember the Greek stuff. We know a lot of it got filtered through the Middle East and all that because, it's in Greece and the whole division of the Roman Empire. But, yeah.
I don't know. I just spent about 5 hours of my life shadowing my professor friend. We discussed Sparta, Athens, and Persia. So if you want some Peloponnesian War information, I'm all on that right now. I'm so on that. I have no one to share it with.
This is Sparta.
I wanted to scream that during their lecture, but that would have been inappropriate. So I just kept asking about institutionalized pederasty because I figured that would be less of a headache.
When institutionalized pederasty is less of a headache than something else, then that just says volumes right there. You could send me your notes and stuff because cool.
I
want to see them.
I didn't take any notes because I was just surveying. And, I didn't think. I might go see her again on Friday and again on Tuesday. I really miss school.
Okay, so the next one about goddess names, we covered that in last week's discussion. I have no idea when that episode is coming out, so it may even be after this episode. But we covered goddess names in quite a bit of depth. Does metaphysical practice affect the electromagnetic field generated by a human being?
Yes.
I thought that was part of doing metaphysical things, was affecting the energy around you, whether it's the electromagnetic field around you or body heat and so on and so forth. But that's my sort of take on it. Most of metaphysics is more of a physics look at it.
I just don't know how to elaborate on the word yes.
Well, personally, every day the lights above my head at my work start flickering the more and more pissed off I get at the customers. And that's a constant thing.
Or you're on the more mundane side, the lights could be overheating.
No, they keep changing them, and it's... No.
Could be bad fixture.
Huh?
Bad fixture.
It only happens when she's there.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's not a bad fixture.
It's like six different lights all in one, because I work in a big place, right? And it's not just one of them, one circuit. It's all of them. At different times, they'll start flickering. They don't even flicker in the same thing. That's when if I start noticing it, that's when I know I need to calm down.
Okay, the next one makes more sense if I read it backwards. You all have addressed the cleanliness of the human body before a ritual, but not the physical space itself. So basically, should it be more like the Asatru, where it's the rules of no weapons and no defecation? quite, obvious rules. Or should we be doing something more like Buckland's recommendation of washing the walls and floor with water and sea salt before all rituals?
Not if you
Wait
got
a minute,
flat
you're not allowed
paint.
to defecate during ritual?
I don't know of a single person who has brought an article of defecation into ritual.
I know some people. Now I know some people that have said some stuff that qualified as articles of dedication in ritual, but I don't think we're talking about the same thing here. And the rest of it, I'd stay away from if you've got flat wall paint, because I don't care what it says on the can. You can't wash that crap.
I know I used to really, and I still do, I feel like I can't do ritual unless I shower beforehand. And I do like to use a salt scrub. And depending on the ritual, sometimes I like to mix different essential oils into the salt scrub. But I don't know, and I guess don't wear diapers to a circle. I guess that's good.
There you go.
I mean, as far as the ritual space's health goes, the area where the ritual is physically being held. I've been to some rituals which were in a moldy, dingy basement, and all that's separated the circle from the laundry room was an old bed sheet cut up with thumbtacks. I've been to rituals in someone's pristine living room. I've been to rituals outdoors. I think that really the cleanliness of the ritual space itself is a reflection of how much is the person preparing the sacred space want to impress other people who will be there, or the gods. If they want to have it better homes and gardens immaculate, they're probably trying too hard to impress, which goes along kind of with the mentality of, if you want to impress someone but you don't have a lot to say, you say what you know repeatedly and loud. But really, I think that the answer is the ritual space only need be as clean as you're comfortable with. If you're invoking the gods and drawing them down into your ritual area, it's a bit like having honored guests in your living room. You'd like them to feel that it's a place where they would feel welcome. But those same gods also know what your house looks like all the time, and they know what you do in the bathroom, and you think that somebody else is looking, and so you don't really have to impress them. They're impressed with you already. So, I think as much as you're comfortable with is good enough.
There are a couple of people that are not people, but there's a couple of practices where you it is a stipulation that you have to have a certain level of cleanliness. I want to say the Azurli group, or one of the Azurli forms in Verdun, or I can't remember if she's Verdun or Sanduri, I'm getting senile, that I want to say she's the one that if things are not clean, she gets upset with you and she's offended. And there's a couple of others that are actually kind of like that. I kind of have to go. There's been times when I've done ritual in a quickie makeshift space that we weren't expecting to, and it's like, okay, look, we're doing this. We're throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. Yeah, doing it on the fly. You improvise with the best you got. But I've also been in ritual space that wasn't really was really haphazard and not. It really had a feel of not being regarded or taken care of, and I felt like it did kind of affect things. By the way, dust your altar.
Being in a messy setting kind of really, in my opinion, kind of messes with the energy of a place. So, you know.
That's true, actually. I've seen, well, okay, editing my prior comment then. Magic flows better in a clean house. It's a bit like Feng Shui. If the house is clean, Feng Shui energy flows through like water. Magic does the same thing. If the house is cluttered and there's things everywhere, I found that magic tends to get bogged down and confused. Okay.
Yeah, it's not quite like you gotta be like Better Homes and Gardens. You just gotta, not have a dirty pile of laundry in the middle of your circle.
I also like to vacuum, and I like to do
vacuuming sucks.
I like to put salt. Well, it's not fun.
Oh, that's pun.
Oh shit! I didn't even get your pun. Oh my goodness. Anyway, but I like to put cinnamon and salt down on the ground and vacuum it up because I find it just gives a good energy feel, and it's like a quick 1, 2, 3 that you can do. Like even if maybe your countertops are all dirty, at least. Like, where you're trying to ground it, you know what I mean? Because I try to ground, using the floor as my connection to the ground if I can't get outside. But at least then the carpet has a good energy feel, so I feel like I can plug in a lot easier.
Okay.
I think that my going off of something that Miles had said earlier is it's not necessarily whether it should be clean or not, because I've done stuff in the woods, in basements, in all sorts of different environments. And no, I normally do not do ritual per se, but I think a lot of that depends on what faith path you go by, what you're trying to do, who you're trying to contact. There's a lot of things that may be space. What you're doing is to be done in that space that you're doing it, no matter what it looks like. I know that clutter itself may just get in the way of whatever you're doing, but physical cleanliness. If you're planning something, if you're doing something that you're planning on doing, and you have a space set out to do it, yeah, clean up
Right.
and do what you have to. But if it's on something that's like on the run, you have to hike out to the middle of the woods, or there's something bothering this person, and you find this, whatever, and it's definitely not the cleanest space. Sometimes it's best just to leave things the way that they are, depending on the energy or what's going on there. But I think a lot of that, if you break it down, is just depends on what you're trying to do and, that sort of thing.
Okay, so the way I feel about it is while personally I feel more comfortable in a clean setting for a ritual, the earlier practitioners of my faith were Vikings, not world renowned for their personal hygiene. When you think of the concept of washing your hands is super new in the grand scheme of things. The gods don't care about a little smell. That's just how I feel about it.
I'm pretty sure we smell to them anyway.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Some years ago,
Disgusting evolved apes.
some years ago, I had some friends on the Atlantic coast, and one person wanted to consecrate her wand in the ocean, which is cool. And this was a cleansing and healing wand, with its purpose made. And as she's going in, me being me, of course, I said, "Dude, really? Fish pee in that?"
Wow.
Well, salt's a cleanser.
I didn't understand the whole salt being a cleanser thing till this year's PSG, because my mindset is, well, if you put salt in dirt, it kills everything. You put it on a wound, it hurts. It's an abrasive. So how is this a good cleaning thing? It
You live on the ocean,
life.
it eats everything.
Yeah.
Well, you think about it. You put it on stuff, it kills things. That's because that's what makes it a cleanser, is it kills certain things.
I wouldn't say so much. It's like saying nuclear bombs are cleansers.
Hey, work with what you got.
Insert off-colored ritual in Japan joke here. But I finally got it. Like, somebody came up to me like, no. Salt think of salt preserving food. It's like, oh, well, that makes a whole lot more sense. Still not using it in my rituals, but at least I kind of get where people are coming from now.
Well, really, though, for good grief, probably several thousand years, salt was one of the only first aid things that people had to use, other than emerging herb craft. Alcohol didn't come around till fairly late in civilization when you think about it. So it's salt and alcohol have been primitive first aid kits for ages. And it really is kind of a disinfectant.
By means of destroying.
Yeah, exactly. That's all hydrogen peroxide does, is it kills germs and stuff and bacteria, and it also does usually kill a small layer of skin cells when where it touches, but you're going to lose those anyway to scarring, or not scarring, but scabbing off and exfoliating off at some point anyway, so you don't notice it. He's going to go throw all his peroxide out now, isn't he?
Are we going to start casting circle with peroxide?
It would be really, really cool because it bubbles and foams up and stuff.
Oh, snooze. We need to figure out like a chemistry circle casting. And we can use like beakers and stuff. And
Okay, you need 1 gallon
Dude, I
of
could totally do
gasoline.
that. I've still got my notes and stuff from when we made fireworks science fair. Are we echoing?
Sam was
Somebody was echoing.
Sam
Was
was
I
echoing
echoing?
like crazy.
Am I still echoing?
Not when you talk, just when other people talk.
Well,
It's
you know
okay
what?
now, though.
That was weird.
Sorry. All
It's
right,
okay. It was just weird.
I blame Skype.
I'm not the one editing this.
Ooh, let's
Do we want to go on to our hate mail? Because it's really exciting.
I know.
Okay, why don't you read it? We should make Scurry read it. He's the one who put it in here.
I'm not
It
the one who
doesn't-
wrote it, though.
It doesn't make sense. Like the flow is, I don't know. If you read it all at once, it's confusing.
Well, that's because Scurvy did a weird job of posting.
I just copied and pasted.
Inbox X.
Yeah.
Funny thing is it seems like all the hate mail we get, typically it is not very well put.
Yeah,
Like,
come on. We needed to raise the bar on hate mail.
Yeah. All of our, hey, can you answer this question 9 times out of 10 is pretty coherent, spelling's half decent, things like that. But whenever it comes to hate mail, it's like,
Derp, derp, derp.
yeah.
I'm angry.
Or,
emotional response to what I disagree with.
That's the worst
You'll
kind of
really piss
response.
people off if you critique their hate mail and grade it.
Lyle, you have a homework assignment.
And
Okay.
then answer it.
I want to put this out
As long
there.
as the
anyone who hates PCP is full of fail. It works.
There's got to be someone full
You've
of
got
fun that
fail.
hates us.
All right, Sam, I reposted so it's easier to read. Would you like to read this one?
I guess, since you put the effort into it. All right. This is from Panati. Generally, I try not to expose myself as rampant troll bait. But in this case, you're trying to advertise as safe and non-threatening places to go for newbies to the pagan community, at the same time that you're mercilessly ripping into some for fairly benign slights. I'm being a slight outside chance that someone will appreciate being told your tone is off. Emails that are too long, in the same breath as complaining about Twitter being too short, not responding fast enough, not enough to justify endless public mockery. I don't know her. I don't know her music before in a positive fashion. Right now, you all sound like a bunch of nasty 7th grade JV cheerleaders targeting some poor, awkward girl who tries too hard, and I would know. But let's be honest. None of you care about being mean, vicious, or unfair, and you made that perfectly clear in your disclaimers. You do apparently care about being respected as a resource for pagan noobs, though. So, I would hand someone a Ravenwolf text before I'd send them to you. After this display of amateur hostility, I never subscribe to this podcast to hear you vent your personal vendettas, let alone the ones that are pure and anal boredom. In the interest of hitting your target audience, and for the ones who haven't already unsubscribed, please do us all a favor and shut the fuck up. Regards, Panati.
Now, Scurf and I had answered this within, I forget what we were doing, but we both happened to be online at the time, and we had both sent replies to this about an hour after she had sent it.
Yes.
Scurf, I don't know if you have yours, but I've actually found mine.
Oh, I found mine too.
Did you?
I think we actually covered this too shortly after or before the actual interview with Kelly Mays.
We had covered it, but I'll read
That's
my
fine.
reply, and then Scurv, if you want to read your reply to show just how we reply to hate mail.
Alrighty.
I told her, first off, thanks for the feedback. We've been looking for some hate mail, so I'm sure Scurvy will be quite pleased. That being said, the point is not that we're all loving in a non-threatening place. We're honest about how we feel. Some of us were a bit over the edge, but we're honest. Most of the host, as well as the regular guest, feel that there is too much pleasantry in the pagan community. There's little to no accountability, whether by the peer community or from the self. If you have listened to our past podcasts or episodes at all, this should be prevalent. Everyone makes mistakes, and this is well-known knowledge. Those of us that subject ourselves to the public eye we make our mistakes much more public. But more important than our mistakes is what we did to rectify the situation afterwards, which you are apparently unaware of. It is also to be understood that if an individual, such as Miss Kelly Mays, puts themselves in the public eye for criticism, that they are willing to subject themselves under the same type of criticism. This is to be expected in public media. If you would have caught the live feed, you would have known that the issue has been resolved, as we had her on for an interview. The episode that was posted recently was also about 2 months old, and much has happened in the time between here and there. I got to converse with her several times after the episode was posted and worked quite a bit out. We actually raised awareness of her in the pagan community and gained a friend in the process. This was possible because she was mature enough to own up to her own mistakes instead of huffing and puffing that we injured her poor pride. I'm sorry that you were a victim of targeting by a majority group, but I would hardly give her the disservice of relating her to a poor, awkward girl who tries too hard. She's a strong young woman that can handle the criticism of a small group of pagans that are a bit overcritical. We started the podcast because we wanted to speak freely, and this has not changed. We'll continue to speak our lines, whether others approve or not. While I'm sorry that we've lost your subscription, our target audience is not meant to reach those who react so abrasively and immaturely to a single episode.
Yeah.
Woot.
Good night, Ruckus.
Now, Scurv, what was your reply?
Alrighty. You will note that this email is being responded to in a timely fashion. With Miss Kelly May, she sent us spam emails for several months that were on the grade that advertises male enhancement products, asking for an interview with us, but without following up to our replies. Did we go over the top? Yes, quite frankly, we did. We talked about it in past week's recording with her. Insert random link here. As far as being a target of hostility, well, quite frankly, respect is not given, it is earned. If we have lost your respect, that is regrettable. As a matter of fact, we were being somewhat upset at an emergent public figure who was beginning to show signs of shallow market and exploitation and marginalization in the pagan image and community, so now we can understand your sense of outrage at people who are living in the public image that do not live up to your expectations. Figure I'm alluding to was is a spammer. Actually, that sigh felt pretty good. Okay, continuing. As far as shutting the F explicit up, as I said, respect is earned, not given. You choose to part on ill terms and burn that bridge, and that is your right. Please understand with your parting words you have lost the expectation of a civil response. In the future, if you receive them from us, understand as an extension of social courtesy, or given a second chance. Okay.
So, see, we don't just rant like JV cheerleaders.
Which apparently the writer
have
is,
better
that's why
hair.
she can't write a good sentence. Ooh.
Aside from there, but I mean, so if you understand what Kelly Mays was doing to my inbox, you would really understand that episode.
And the funny thing was, as much as she wanted to send us hate mail, we sent her 2 emails and haven't heard anything back.
In months or a year? Months, okay. Yes, that was Friday, March 25th, 2011 at 10:06 p.m. when I replied.
Yeah, that was the day after the Kelly Mays recording.
Yep.
I know, we just covered this exact date like 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, that's right. Note to Dave, never let me handle the timer.
Meanwhile, I was out in Europe at the time, and I saw you both reply. I'm like, yeah, fuck it. They already replied. It's good enough. I agree. Plus one.
Well, let's take the devil's advocate stance on this hate mail, okay? Let's.
It's really hard to do. I hate spammers.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's take Penati's stance for a little bit. Okay, let's try. I mean, let's.
gonna shoot you down, but go for it.
Alrighty, well, we're gonna try. You're trying to advertise. Okay, no, we don't advertise as a safe, non-threatening place.
No, we really don't.
I'm trying here. Okay.
I think we pretty much cut her to pieces in the 2 replies that we gave her, Scurf.
You're mercilessly ripping into someone for fairly benign slights. Do you have any idea how much spam she sent me?
By the way, we could quantify the amount of spam that Kelly Mays and any of her associates send out. On our YouTube video of the interview with Kelly Mays, I had to delete 920 spam comments.
Yes.
Well, you could just always send them all to this person that wrote the hate mail, and perhaps this will generate some feeling of understanding. That's not a felony, is it?
Well,
Okay.
It is technically a violation of unsolicited commercial email.
Huh?
Hey, if you're going to troll someone, know the legalities of it.
So what happened?
I think people that send out unsolicited emails like that should be violated, but that's probably a felony too.
I got an interesting visual with that. Did your intention involve a cactus?
Well,
No, but it
not
can now.
initially, but I was gonna say I'm gonna take that under advisement for later procedures, just because never pass up a good idea, and good creative input is always welcome.
Okay. I'll get you that hot poker then later.
I already got one of those.
Okay.
So if you have hate mail, you can send it to us at pcp@ImbleedingProfusely.com. Or if you're email impaired, just go to ImbleedingProfusely.com and click on Contact Us.
I have to ask something though at her last paragraph, okay? I'm trying to figure this out. I never subscribed to this podcast to hear you vent your personal vendettas. How many episodes did you listen to?
Yeah, don't you listen I don't know, the first 5 seconds of a podcast before you subscribe to it?
I just want to know, what kind of sick, twisted individual do you have to be to send us hate mail? I mean, you honestly don't like how we respond to Twitter being too short, but yet you still feel the need to send us something that obviously we're going to rip apart. So really, how sick and twisted do you have to be to send us hate mail?
Well, I mean, the thing is that if you're going to send us hate mail, be right.
I'll read those ones too.
Which is really hard because we're so awesome. I mean, if they were right, they would be on the podcast.
Why don't they be running their own podcast?
Which
I
for
think
those
my
of you-
main problem... Go ahead, Sam.
just because some people were confused, a podcast is basically a radio show. Just putting it out for you.
That's one of those things that you won't get unless you're here for the live show.
Huh?
My main problem with what she wrote is I hate indirect guilt trips. So, comparing us to a bunch of nasty 7th grade JV cheerleaders attacking some poor, helpless girl. Really? Really?
I have to ask this. How come everybody who goes to insult me always calls me a girly girl?
Because they've never seen you in person? I don't know.
It's your long, silky hair. You really need a haircut if you're going to work for the government. I mean, really.
Yeah, but no, I'm going to have an image of Scurv as a JV cheerleader, and that's just not something you can bleach out of your brain.
I just see
Yeah,
Scurv in a cheerleading costume while his partial delivery system is making its delivery.
Exactly. That's where I was as well. I have to go bleach my brain now.
Thank you, Panatti. You rickrolled them better than I ever could.
Give me a boom!
Yeah, I work with conflict resolution systems, damn it.
Would it be really, really passive-aggressive to note that we never blocked her after that comment?
We never banned her from the site. We didn't block her from our Facebook. She can still come to our Google Plus. In fact, I probably have added her to my Google Plus without realizing it.
Why on earth would you block her? You're going to be, if she keeps it up, you're just going to be able to get more material off her.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's because, we deal well with conflict and we don't run away from it. Unlike
I was just
some
making
people
sure it
in the
wasn't really a
pagan media.
passive-aggressive comment. Put it out there.
I'll take your passive-aggressive and raise it to aggressive.
Wait a minute, you knew her music before in a positive fashion?
No. You gotta reread that sentence.
I don't know
Yeah.
her. I did know her music before in a positive fashion.
Basically saying that she wasn't aware of her music beforehand in a positive fashion, meaning she didn't know about her music, and we did it in anything but a positive fashion.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, her music could have sounded like Derpity Derp and all that stuff, and if she'd have responded to, any of the first dozen emails, we probably would have had her on and all that stuff.
I was about to rip you on a dozen emails, but I think that actually is an accurate count. Between
Sounds
emails we all sent.
Yeah, I sent a few too. Actually, Amber, weren't you the one responding to her first?
I know I sent a couple, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple ladies wanting book reviews and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like people don't contact us or we don't bring them on the show and all that stuff. I mean, it happens.
Speaking of, we are having 2 interviews next month for the Pagan Shopping Network, and we're having Michael Reeder, our favorite pagan psychologist, back on the show the beginning of November, as well as 2 other shops that are lined up that we need details from.
Who's the other
Awesome.
pagan psychologist? Is he our second favorite psychologist?
He kind of disappeared, and I don't know what's going on with that. So.
Oh, okay. So he really is our second favorite.
Yeah.
He heard he was going in 2 to 3 on PCP and said, fuck this.
We've got issues.
Yes, but I can't deal with my issues. It's against the law.
Maybe you can unsubscribe from it, like a feed. Get this shit off my feed. Moving along. Final thoughts.
Final thought. Next person who invokes me in a non-clean ritual space is getting the plague and then becoming fat.
Ooh.
Like 200 pounds overweight fat.
But they'll have the plague, so they'll lose it right away.
I made people clean their ritual spaces before I'd worked with them before. That's fun.
So if anything else, clean your ritual space, or you're going to get plague.
So Naria motes it be.
Do I have a final thought? Oddly enough, I'm drawing nothing.
That's Kelly Amazing.
Fuck you.
Thank you for saying it so I didn't have to.
We didn't even get through the intros today without a beep mark. That's like a new record for us.
My final thought is, if you're going to write any kind of hate mail, be right. If you're wrong, you sent us hate mail, and we make it very clear that we will publicly promote any mail we get. Maybe that's why we don't get hate mail. People are the risk versus reward thing doesn't work out for them. But if you genuinely do need help, we are here. We're not assholes. We just vent. So if you need help, we'll help you out.
However, if you tell us to shut the fuck up, we'll assume that you're kind of...
Goes back to what Scurvy said last week. If you want to get us to do something, tell us not to do it.
Yeah.
You call it hate mail. We call it ammunition.
I call it
Yes.
20 minutes worth of content on a show that otherwise would have been 20 minutes too short.
That's my Rickrollin' technique. I already called dibs on it.
I think my final thought is too many times people take criticism, hate mail, disagreeing opinions with way too much seriousness and with the force of a personal attack, and everybody needs to chill out and have a conversation. And if they don't reply, well, that's their own problem.
You know, Amber, some people asking for conversations winds up getting them banned from things.
Yeah, well, that just means that you're better off without that conversation, huh?
It sure
Yeah.
does. There's so much less drama in my life now I'm banned from that.
Yeah, don't ask people to explain things either. That gets you banned too.
Especially the explaining of things. Especially the explaining
Can you
of things.
support your reasoning? I mean, just on the off chance I'm looking at self-improvement. Hammer! Okay. Oh. Poo-poo head.
Yeah, don't worry,
Hey,
Scarab,
somebody
it's not
else knows
just
about
you.
the band hammer?
I think my final thought is we definitely need more mail. I know it sometimes takes us a while to get through, but normally our episodes run until like 10:30. And
Well,
yeah,
I could pull stuff off the site that's completely random.
no. But, send us more stuff. Hate mail.
Friendly mail.
Friendly mail. If you do send hate mail, at least run it through spell check.
Yeah.
And reread over top of it. Don't just, send it the first draft. Actually read across it first, please. Make sure it's intelligible.
I think I got Scurvy's final thought. I'll make a final thought for Scurvy because it's his thought anyway. Basically, he did a review of all the different Pagan podcasts on iTunes, looking at the feedback they got, and usually, a lot of feedback a lot of other shows get is very surface, stuff. Just hey, this is awesome, or boo, or too long, just very surface level stuff. But the people on PCP, well, they don't always give us 5-star ratings. They're very impassioned about their reviews, and they usually have given an in-depth analysis. And for that, we really like our listeners.
Yeah. Even the ones that want their bandwidth back.
Yeah. But to be honest, though, our audio quality did suck when he wrote that review.
Actually, though, I mean, looking at it, it's I just like the substance of them. It's like, wow. It's like I really touched you. And not quite in the way that Catholic priest would.
Scurvy.
I was going to make a Michael Jackson reference, but that's a much better one to make.
Sorry.
It's like a hate mail from the people that they're like, Michael Jackson never touched anyone. I know, but it's a joke.
Yeah.
My final thought to the, sending it out to the ether is that, you send us, if you so choose, hate mail, in a violent typing fit of impassioned, just literary vomit. And we then have several months to comb over it and bash the living hell out of you. So knowing this, perhaps learning some basic grammar would be better. So maybe we actually listen to what you say instead of thinking that you're absolutely worth crap and can't spell for shit, and therefore we get to talk about you ad nauseum and laugh and get better ratings because of it. So
Yeah, if you send in hate mail, wait till like the next day before you actually click send. I mean, that's gives you a chance for sober second thoughts, read it and stuff, and maybe improve on it, because you might have that inspiration when you're driving home from work or whatever, just...
Yeah.
Oh, and on a semi-related topic, if you're sending an email or all that stuff. Post scurvy laziness. Awesome, Maria. And you're mentioning something in an episode. If you could, let us know what episode that was, that might help out.
Oh God, yeah. There was this random feedback, and we don't even know what it was about. It's like, that thing Scurvy said. I totally agree. We're all looking at each other. Like, what the hell is this about?
I remember getting that email. I totally agree with what Scurvy said. Which part?
I really appreciate the gesture, but thank you. But there's a lot of words that come out of my mouth. I'm on a fairly regular basis amazed at some of the words that come out of my mouth. Yeah, but help me out here a little bit, please.
Nope.
I'm sometimes amazed at what I say when I post-produce. It's like, I said that? What was I thinking? Oh well.
We can let other people have final thoughts now.
Okay, my bad.
My final thought would be Skype is having major identity crises.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, it's working perfectly on my end.
Really? Sometimes Amanda's picture has the voice of Naria. Sometimes Brandon has the voice of Naria.
Well, Skype works better. Well, what can we say? It's Texas. Skype works better there.
Brandon has the voice of Scurvy.
Naria has no voice.
Scurvy has the voice of Naria.
I wonder if Sam realizes that's a reference to something she said.
Oh crap! What'd you say?
It went right through the subconscious. Didn't even phase her.
No, I'm trying to run the website, the chat room here, people. I'm busy. I'm doing.
I said, da.
Oh, that's not funny at all.
Hey, Sam.
Hey, yeah.
Tell the chat to send hate mail.
Oh no, I already did.
Good.
I did.
Are they sending us hate mail?
Well, they should be sending us some. Some people were asking for an email to send things to, and people are shouting now that they want to send hate mail. So we should be getting more. Woohoo!
Where is this chat?
And we'll definitely do that on our next listener feedback episode. 100 episodes, or roughly 2 years at this rate.
So if you want to actually hear our reply, make sure you're here for the live feed.
Cool, we might actually get hate mail. Awesome.
It'll
Well, if I can make a request, I'm sorry.
Probably be all about us not having a single topic tonight and us doing listener feedback. It's like, how dare you care about your listeners and what they think?
Derp, derp, derp.
And it's already coming in, so let's hurry up with the final thoughts!
Well, my final thought is, as long as there's going to be hate mail coming in, if I can make a request, I need something really, really good and really, really skanky to put in my repository of insults that involves some type of pygmy marmot and some type of cleaning product. Doesn't matter what it is, just somebody come up with something good, because I got a big gap there, okay? So help me out, all right? Thank you.
A marmot? Is it even illegal to have a semi-aquatic mammal in an urban setting?
Marmot?
Yeah.
They're primates. Little bitty guys.
That's what they called a ferret on The Big Lebowski.
Oh, God, you're right. Okay,
We
hey,
got
wait a minute. I
mail
can work
already.
with that. I can work with that.
right?
Okay. Yeah, all
'Cause
right, I'm rolling now.
I am initiated into dudism. I am one of their priests.
The dude abides. I can totally work with that. Okay, thank you.
Sam, are you a high priest?
Would that put me in the same category as you? Because if yes, then no. But if no, then yes.
High priest Sam.
Why don't you want to be in the same category as Dave?
Just to clarify, high priest Dave is not me.
I know.
You can't be a high priest. You're not bleeding profusely.
And I don't have a penis.
Be a high priestess.
Well, we didn't say priestess now,
Well,
did we?
sorry. I was trying to be gender neutral. You know.
It's English.
Sam,
It's
you're a
gender-
girl.
Hey, I am trying to
They
be
make-
respectful to
they
the
make
sexual
enhancements for
minorities. The sexual and gender minorities in this country. And world and planet. And universe.
and ecosystem and
multiverse. Gotta include the other kin.
And otaku-kin.
And
You
what
rang?
non-existent universe.
What gender would you be if in your past life you were a chalupa? Would the gender of hot sauce exist?
You hear that? That's me pounding my head to make that go away.
These and other insightful questions will be answered on the next Other Kid episode, which ain't happening for a year. Screw goes, oh, thank God. Longest final thoughts ever. Well, at least this isn't like that time we went into Final Thoughts and had a whole new episode as a result of Final Thoughts.
Right?
Actually, that's awesome when that happens.
I still think we should have recorded yesterday when I was ready to podcast.
Sam shows up yesterday. He's like, you guys ready to podcast? I'm like, Sam, it's Tuesday. But then Andy shows up. Amber's friend Andy showed up. And he's like, yeah, let's do this. Like, what the hell are you doing here? You weren't even here to witness a mistake.
Yay, Andy!
I'm such a trendsetter.
And then Maria came into the conversation. And Joe was there.
That's okay.
Well,
All
actually,
yesterday
BPM
at
there
work,
is
I
always
thought.
sort of debatable.
I thought yesterday at work that we had podcasts last night also. So I'm like, I have to get home because there's podcasts, and I'm like, wait, it's
Tuesday.
I had to do that like 4 times. I'm like, podcasts, shit, tomorrow. Okay.
Maybe that's the world trying to tell us something. I mean, aren't we supposed to be in tune with random shit that hits us at 2 a.m. and say that it's a deity?
What were we broadcasting about yesterday?
Oh, that I'm hostile. That I'm hostile. And what else were we talking about?
Drama, banhammer.
Oh, that and the proper way to deal with food offerings on altars.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Food. Yeah, that was an actual serious discussion.
That might be a good half a topic. I don't know if that would take a whole episode to
No,
cover.
that was a good half topic, yeah.
In that case, I totally recant everything I said.
Don't worry, I don't remember anything you said because you said you deny it. I think Barrett almost had a final thought.
I did have a final thought. My final thought was Skype has identity crises.
Get away from my chocolate!
Today, I am not the most ADD person here. I am not sure how to feel about this.
Are you talking about me or Amber?
All of the above?
Banhammer. Oh, man, I gotta make that into a music or something. Oh man, that is my project for the weekend.
I got to get Jess on here with this or whatever because that's one of her favorite things in the world is the band hammer, and she uses it well.
Okay,
Awesome there.
is that it for final thoughts? Now that we're into the third half hour of final thoughts here.
My bad.
I just got to picture like the background music for final thoughts going for a half hour, and just like you just got to hear it go. Zzz. I give up. like when they're on the news and they're like, we're going to commercial, and then like there's like 2 more news stories to go, and the music just fades out. They're like, oh, we screwed up.
I have a final thought.
Okay.
I've already done my final thought.
Exactly. Okay. I call this meeting adjourned. Join us next week. No, we're not doing anything next week. Join us in 2 weeks. I think that's an Amber episode.
Yes, I think we're doing Groovy Baker.
That's right. Groovy Baker is in 2 weeks for Pagan shopping.
If you want to know what it is for those people listening live, go to the Etsy shop, Groovy Baker. Check her out. She has
Pagan
good food.
Baking. Is this the Lollipop Girl?
That's the Lollipop Girl.
Oh, Pagan Lollipops. You gotta check out their, what was that, the fairy, the pixie one? Pixie lollipop?
the green fairy
Yes.
with absinthe.
Yes, green fairy lollipop.
Wow.
This is the kind of stuff you see on the Pagan Shopping Network. Just full of win. And Pagan. So that's it for this week's episode. We'll see you all next week. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Night-night.
Waffles.
Good night.
Audio recording has ended.